Hey there, just want to give you a quick overview of our new GoToMeeting connection tool. And so just want to kind of run through this tool and how it works and be able to give you a good idea of whether this would be helpful for you. So first of all, I think this is really helpful for any business that has like a dedicated process where you need to have like one-on-one or small group meetings consistently. So for example, that could be like your demo calls, it could be your sales calls, it could be your consultations or strategy sessions, things like that, where it's like, yeah, every week or every day, every month, we're doing these calls with potential leads or customers or things like that. And you don't want to go through the hassle of creating the meetings every time, sending out the reminders, doing all of the follow up based on if they attended or didn't attend. You just want to be able to automate that whole process. So I'm going to show you an example. This tool works on Infusionsoft, HubSpot, Drip, Onshport, and ActiveCampaign. So pretty much all the ones that we support right now. And you can use whatever platform you prefer to use for that. I'm just going to show you an example really quickly in Infusionsoft, and I'll try to do some of the other examples in the future on some other platforms too, so you can see some of the variety there too. But essentially, they all kind of work in the same way as far as how you would set something like this up. So here we have our simple little campaign for registering people for their meeting, sending them the reminders to attend, finding out if they actually attended or missed the meeting, and then doing a follow-up with people who attended or didn't attend, so we can let them know how to reschedule. So essentially, that's what this tool does. It starts with a tag. So I pulled up an example of one of our sites where we have like a demo. And so they could come to our page, they pick a time to schedule. We're using, in this example, Calendly, but you can use whatever scheduling tool you like, or even your own forms. And essentially what kicks off this whole process is just a simple little tag. So the tag after they fill out the form or schedule their call with you kicks this off, and then it's going to push them into a sequence like this. If you're using Infusionsoft, the way that it communicates with Plusthis is through these HTTP posts. So I'll show you one of these things. You can just drag and drop it where you want that, where you want Plusthis to do its thing. And here's where we would be putting in like the feature stuff that we do. So I'm just going to go back really quickly and show you that. So after someone comes and actually gets like they fill out your form, they fill out this page right here to schedule a demo with you. The next step is we're going to use Plusthis to register them inside of GoToMeeting. So GoToMeeting will get their contact information, their email, their names, and generate like your join link for them and any of the other little information you need. And we'll kind of go through that in the Plusthis part of this as well. But I just want to kind of start off by showing you a basic shell of a campaign for what this can help you actually automate. So once we get them registered here, what's nice is we can have a meeting confirmation go out. So we can say, hey, thanks for registering. Here's your join link. Here's your add calendar links, all that kind of stuff. So you can see here, hey, Bryce, or whatever their name ends up being, thanks for scheduling your consult for. And then we just have like a simple little merge field. You can do this with all those platforms too. I would create this ahead of time if you want, like, hey, where do we want to store their date and time for their consult or whatever that might be. We'll merge that in here, and we're going to use these fields when we set up the Plusthis tool so that it automatically populates these with that contact's correct date and time for their scheduled consult. Then we're going to tell them the next thing, here's your link to join, and like we did for this one, we're going to create another custom field or something to be able to store that join link in, and we'll use Plusthis to kind of store it in there as well. And then down here, I have a place for me to put in our like add calendar stuff. That's using one of our other tools as well, but I highly recommend if you're doing any kind of scheduling like this to go check out the add to calendar tool that we have also, so it makes it easy for you to book these times in their calendar and make it easy for them to not forget your consults or demos or whatever you're doing with them. So essentially that's the main step there. We get all that information, we're able to send it to them. Then we can use our field timers to basically say, hey, one day before that scheduled consult date and time, let's go ahead and send them the day before reminder. And so you can repeat a lot of the information you had in here. Just tell them, hey, just want to remind you, it's coming up tomorrow, and give them their join link again and all that, right? Then we can do one more if we wanted to, wait an hour, and so on and so on. So you could do these reminders however you like. And then the last thing I have down here is just a quick little process to say, hey, we're going to wait until 2 hours after the contact's next scheduled consult date and time. So what this is doing is it's waiting 2 hours after you're supposed to have this meeting, right? So let's say the meeting is like 60 minutes. If 2 hours have passed and they haven't attended this meeting yet, we're going to apply a tag that basically will say, hey, this person missed the meeting. And that will just be helpful for our follow-up in the next step. So let me show you that right now. So here we're getting them their confirmation link and we're sending the reminders like I said, right? And then what's cool is if they go ahead and they attend, they move into this sequence here. These are just simple tags that we can set up in the tool itself. You can make a tag for attending it, basically. And then you can also do the same for missing it. The missing one in this situation, we're going to want to use something like this. So have it wait a certain amount of time, then have it apply the missing tag. And then we can do some follow-up for the people who need to reschedule. We can tell them how to reschedule. And if they attended, we can tell them, thanks for attending. Here's the next steps. So that's kind of the overview of it. Now I'm going to just show you what the actual tool does and how we put that into this campaign. So if we go to our tool, I've set one up here ahead of time just to kind of give you an example of what this might look like. So this is our GoToMeeting connection tool. I've created a subject for the meeting. This one is just called Consult with Bryce. And then we can pick the date time field for the meeting start date. So when we talk with GoToMeeting, we're going to store the date that GoToMeeting has for when that consult is supposed to take place for this specific individual, which is really cool. And then what we can do is we can pick the time we want to use. So if it's like Thursday at noon, it can use that same field because it's a date time field. And then the time zone we want to use the date in, we can say at noon Arizona time or Pacific time or Eastern time or whatever it might be for you. We want to tell it then how much time we expect this meeting to last. And this is used mostly just on our end to be able to determine if someone actually attended the meeting or not. So we'll run some of our post-meeting actions at that point to be able to test, hey, did someone actually attend this thing or not? And then the last thing we're going to do in this section is to select the tag to apply to the contact once the meeting is generated. So this is just a simple tag. We'll say that consult scheduled. So this just makes it easy for you to at any time pull up who is still scheduled for calls with you. So that's just convenience there. The last thing here in the next section is where you can store like your actual join link. This is probably one of the most important things. So make a field to store the join links. If you don't already have a field, you can click this. And it makes it really easy for you to go ahead and add fields directly from Plus This into your marketing CRM. And then I'm not using this in this situation, and you don't have to either, but if you like to store the meeting subject, like this part that we did at the very beginning in a field, so you can just merge that in each time, that's totally doable too. And then over here is where we do our follow-up actions. So in our campaign, you might have noticed we had a tag for attending. So this is the tag we would want to use when we set up the tool here. There isn't one for missing. GoToMeeting doesn't have a way to directly tell us when someone hasn't attended. So we've created a workaround where all you have to do is basically when you're building out your campaign, do it like what we've done. Have it so it waits until an appropriate amount of time. We're saying 2 hours, but maybe it's 3 hours for you or only an hour and a half, whatever it might be. And we're going to know everyone that attended that meeting. But if it's been over 2 hours and that should be adequate time for everyone who's supposed to attend to have attended by then you can go ahead and say, okay, anyone that hasn't attended at this point is going to be tagged as missing that meeting. So that's kind of how we work with GoToMeeting's limitations to cover not just the people who actually attended the meeting, but people who also missed it. So then after you're done with that, you'll save it. And we'll take that link. We'll go back into your campaign. And this might be a webhook for you if you're on certain platforms, but on Infusionsoft, it's just one of these HTTP posts. We'll go click in there and we'll paste it. And there you go. You've just created your process for the whole GoToMeeting situation. So there's sort of a quick wrap up. This is going to help you take people who schedule a call with you through whatever system you want to use, whether it's an automated like scheduling process tool, like Calendly, Schedule Once, Appointment Core. There's a whole bunch out there. Or if you just want to use your own forms, you're happy to do that. We then can go ahead and put them into the campaign here where it registers them with GoToMeeting, creates the meeting for you, makes it so it's really easy for that to all get added to a calendar. They get their join links. You send all your reminders from your CRM, so it has all of your branding and any other extra information or style that you like to have in there. And then we're able to follow up with people based on if they attended or didn't attend. And you or whoever is doing the actual calls just has to focus on showing up for your meetings and doing your best presentation. You don't have to worry about all the other minutia that goes into a whole meeting and what it takes to get people to actually attend those things and the follow-up that's involved there as well. So hope this helps, and we'd love to hear what your thoughts are in the comments below. Talk later. Bye.